beautiful babies. I'm here. I'm here. I'm queer. And I have no fear, baby. Oh, Lord. I have been wanting to sit down and do readings with y'all every single day, but Queen of Pentacles, I gotta focus on my money, baby. So, got my mind on my money and my money on my mind, and I'm drinking coffee all day long. But how else are you gonna fucking do it? There's just not enough hours in the day. So anyway, guys, let's do a reading from a beautiful collective. This is going to be for whoever needs to hear it. Please keep in mind, ooh, big changes, guys, with the tower. I could feel it. There's something weird going on. I had some very strange dreams last night that took me to other parts of the world, doing things I've never done before, and interacting with, you know, lots of animals and plants and ending up underwater and all kinds of stuff. Okay, guys, so I think we're gonna be going places we've never been before. Okay, if it's significant to anybody, I was doing horseback riding in Switzerland, specifically Switzerland, and I don't know why. I'm like never even considered going to Switzerland. I don't know, but it was fucking incredible. I was also doing like backcountry motorcycle riding, which like I also have never done before. I've been on the backs of motorcycles. I used to ride a Vespa. Like I used to own and ride a Vespa around town, which was fun. But some of you guys also may be coming out of some sort of like depressive funk, or like maybe something knocked you off your horse, so to speak, here with the Sun card in reverse. And it's like you're getting back on the horse. Like I'm getting like that's what it is. And you may be getting back on the horse with like a group of people, because in my dream it was like, it was a whole ass fucking group of people, you know? So it was like a lot of people, and there's people who were there who are paying a lot of money to do it. And I don't know how I was getting away with it for free, or like I wasn't paying as much as everybody else, and I don't know why. Queen of Pentacles, baby. I am money, bitch. Just kidding, but no, literally, I had this thought yesterday, guys, and it's really funny because you've got to tell yourself things to like lift your spirits sometimes, and you're not always going to be in, you know, like the best headspace. So one of the things I was telling myself, Knight of Cups, yeah, I mean, I feel like some of you guys also, like, this is a time frame where that, like, you're going to be getting a lot of attention and a lot of romantic gestures. I'm, okay, something's coming through that you won't necessarily want to take everyone up on their offer here, because you might be just getting a lot of attention in general. So, you know, you don't have to take everyone up on their offer. Just take it as flattery, as a form of flattery, right? Just be like, oh, that's cute, you know what I mean, if you're not into it, right? Because you can't take everyone up on their offer, guys, because there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a lot coming in for you. A lot of big changes, death. What was I going to say, guys? Oh, so I was telling myself yesterday, like, some things to, like, lift my spirits, because I've been a little down. And one of the things I was telling myself was, God, what was it? I don't want to nip slip here with my little crop top. What was it that I was telling myself? It made me laugh. I thought it was really funny, and it was cracking me up, and I was like, totally. What was I saying to myself? It was something like, yeah, like what sparked my memory is I said, I am money, you know? So I the joke was, or whatever, I don't know why it was a joke I was telling myself, but it was because it was just kind of flaunty, and like, I don't really think about myself that way, like, very often at all. But sometimes you just gotta feel yourself and be like, you know what? I am the shit. And not only am I the shit, but like, but I am innately valuable, that like I deserve to receive the abundance that it is that I want in my life, because I am already worth it. Does that make sense? And plus, nothing matters. Like, I'm kind of I'm like an optimistic nihilist, which is just like weird as shit. But like, it makes sense actually when I say it out loud. But because I'm like, nothing really matters at the end of the day. So why couldn't something great happen? Or who gives a fuck? Like, you know, there's all these dickhead millionaires. Like, why couldn't I be a millionaire? You know, why not? Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, I'm kind of already a millionaire just because of my own value. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I don't know. It's so ridiculous. I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it kind of does. This card wants to come out. Hell yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Hell yeah, Queen of Swords. Yes, bitch. I'm sorry. I'm finally feeling better, guys. I had like a lot of things happen at the same exact time, and I kind of like, yeah, sabotaged myself. 5 of Swords. Walked away from something that was really important to me because I could not handle it emotionally, and anyway, I don't want to get worked up about that because I'm finally feeling better. Which one? This one? Okay. So the deal is that, you know, Two of Cups. I feel like romance may be very heavy on your mind right now. Relationships in general, maybe not even romantic relationships, because the Two of Cups also talks about just deep spiritual connection, deep soul connection with others, right? With another person. So that may be a big theme for you guys right now, your connections with others, how you're showing up in your connections, how other people aren't showing up for you in connections also, you know, and if you're not showing up for other people, you might start to reevaluate these connections and be like, okay, well, we're not really showing up for each other. I'm not really emotionally available, or like vice versa, or like I just feel like we bring each other down, or like you bring me down, or like whatever it is, guys. You're starting to reevaluate your connections. Okay. And this is all your connections, like not just romantic. Okay. But, it's really funny. The Five of Swords came out right as I was talking about like the things that I've been going through. And, a lot of times when I get overwhelmed, the easiest route that I will take sometimes is the Queen of Swords, or that I will cut off my emotional energy to a situation and go cold because I just simply cannot handle the level of emotion that's running through my body, right? Because if I'm worried about people that I care about, you know what I mean, or bad things are happening, or there's a lot of stress, or there's a lot of responsibility, and like I can't find relief in the places where that I, you know, have tried to build structure for relief, right? Like my support systems, right? And the people in my life that I care about who say they care about me. So then I'm like, okay, well, this is the purpose. It's not just for that. Like I just enjoy spending time with people, and people just mean something to me in general, like even without me being involved. Like I can just look at a person, like in my mind's eye, right? Look at a person and like who they are and what they do in the world and their energy, and I just can see like their value independent of me, right? So it's not just about like, oh, well, I'm friends with you so that you'll be there for me when I'm having a hard time. It's like, no, but that's part of being friends with somebody. That's part of having a deep connection with another person, is being able to show up and be there for them when they need you. Right? Sometimes you don't know when someone needs you if they're too afraid to ask, okay, for that kind of support. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that connections are really important in our life. And a lot of times we create these connections, you know, out of joy and happiness, right? And then when things get more difficult, you know, then it's like we kind of can feel abandoned, right? Or we can feel like afraid to be really truly honest with how bad we're feeling. You know what I mean? Because we don't feel like the other person maybe deserves to like they don't deserve to have that on their plate. I know they're busy enough. They really don't need to deal with my shit, right? So, you know what I mean? So sometimes you can, you know, we can look at our connections and our relationships and just feel like, you know, this person is probably better off without me. You know what I mean? Or I might be better off without this person, you know, whatever this is, you know, a lot of times we'll take this route, you know what I mean, of going cold and cutting things out of our life. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad quality, okay? I think it actually can come in handy when we get into connections, relationships, friendships that are not good for us, right? And sometimes you don't know until you know. Sometimes you have to get into it in order to discover that it's not right for you, you know? So I think part of this also is maybe feeling guilty and regretful about cutting people out of your life. Some of you guys may be feeling like that. But it also, I feel like it also makes you feel powerful in some way. But at the same time, it makes you feel really guilty because it's not really like, you know what I mean? It's not really, it's not like you did it necessarily to like empower yourself. Like, let me kick somebody else out and, you know, and that will make me feel better. You know what I'm saying, guys? Anyway, it's not malicious is what I'm trying to say. It's because of literally like being emotionally overwhelmed. Just like what I'm getting here at the Five of Swords. So, okay. So now, guys, Aside from that, I feel like a lot of you guys are finally figuring out, and I'm not saying finally, but like you're figuring something out that you've been trying to crack the code on for a long time. And what I'm getting is this is about abundance. This is about bringing in the things that you want to be experiencing in your life. You know what I mean? And you've had to be very cold and calculated about what you allow in your life and what you are willing to walk away from, say no to, all those types of things, right? So that's something that you've kind of got mastered in a way with this Queen of Swords. That's something that you've kind of got mastered, but you have to know also that if you put too many eggs in this basket, then you end up doing things like this with the Five of Swords, abandoning people, walking away, like basically, you know, striking the match and watching the bridge burn and just fucking walking away, like, you know. So what I'm getting here is that things are changing for you in this way, and with the Nine of Wands in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune on the other side of it, what I'm getting is that you're realizing, okay, the only way I can let things into my life is if I let my guard down. And that can be really, scary, okay? And that can be really scary for a Queen of Swords type energy, right? Because, okay, me letting my guard down, it's like I'm going to trust something, trust somebody, you know what I mean? Because that's the only way that I can like knowingly let anything into my space, my life, whatever, is if I, to a certain degree, I have to trust it, right? Or you have to at least trust that you can handle if things don't go well, right? So there's certain situations that there's just no way to get into that situation without trust, you know what I mean? But there's other situations where you go, yeah, I'm starting a new job, and it's just like an office space like downtown or whatever. You're like, I can just show up and work the job, and if I don't like it, I can just fucking quit and leave. Like, that's not that big of a deal, right? But say, you know, and this is a pretty extreme example, but I think some of you guys will jive with what I'm saying here. So if any of you guys are into kink and BDSM and stuff, so like say that you want to get together with somebody who you don't know very well and have like a play session, and say you like being tied up, you know, and then they're gonna host it at their house. You know how much fucking trust it takes for you to go to somebody's house and let them tie you up in their house, okay, who you don't know well, to have some kind of experience, right? That's a situation where you literally just cannot do something like that without having trust, because it is such a risk. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge risk. And if any of you guys out there are like planning something like that, please make sure that you know this person well enough to know that they don't have malicious intent, you know? And that's like one of the scary things about trusting people, is that you just don't know till you know, right? Until you give them the opportunity to hurt you, right? And then most people are opportunists, right? They're like mostly decent people, but if given the opportunity to take advantage of somebody, they might just do it, right? So I'm not trying to scare you guys. I encourage you to be trusting and to be open. But what I'm saying is that there's this different spectrum, okay? This is what I'm trying to get at. There's a spectrum of trust where that there's certain situations that it's like really not that big of a deal, but you do have to give a certain amount of trust in the universe. Like, okay, you know, I'm going to go try this thing out. I'm going to go check this thing out. I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to go on this date, or I'm going to like, you know, or I'm gonna like hang out with my friend, or like whatever it is, guys. It's just, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I can do that, and it's not that big of a deal. I'm not putting my life in someone else's fucking hands, right? And then you have the other end of the spectrum where it's like completely about trust, right? So what I'm saying is, as a Queen of Swords type energy, for those of you guys I'm reading for, some of you guys may not be in this headspace yet, but this is something you're learning to master here, is when to open the gates and when to close the gates, right? Because the Nine of Wands is all about the wounded warrior being in defense because you don't want to get hurt, right? So you're in this place of healing, right? You're in this place of self-defense. The Nine of Wands also represents determination. So an unwillingness to concede or to give up, an unwillingness to give your power away, basically. You're like in this place of just hold the line. That's kind of what the Nine of Wands is hold the line. And you're, you know what I mean? You're just singular, right? You're like, you're holding your own fucking line, you know, so that you can heal from whatever wounds that you have occurred in battle, right? Like that's what the Nine of Wands is all about. So The refusal to give up, which is a great energy. Honestly, determination is a great energy. But this is about, in reverse, you letting your walls down, letting your guard down and saying, okay, I think that I've healed enough in order to kind of relax a little bit here. And I don't have to necessarily be so defensive of myself and of my energy and of my space. Because if I continue to sit in this Queen of Swords energy and this Five of Swords energy, then, you know what I mean? I am essentially sabotaging my happiness, my ability to let in good things. Because like I said, the Wheel of Fortune is right on the other side of that. So it's almost like you can be the Queen of Swords, right? And you can be a badass and you can decide what is good for you and what's not, okay? This is, the Queen of Swords is somebody who's been through a lot, okay? I just want to mention that because there's some energy coming through this card that wants to be spoken on. So for the Queen of Swords, she's somebody who has, and I should say they, I also wanted to mention that gender is fluid, guys, so any of these cards can be any gender, and I do try and use gender neutral language as much as possible to make my readings more inclusive and accessible, right? So, so this person, this Queen of Swords, is the type of person who has been through hell, survived it, built themselves back up, and fucking climbed on their throne and said, fuck everybody else. That's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords says, I am willing to hear you out, but if you're full of shit, you can get the fuck out of my kingdom, right? That's what the Queen of Swords is all about. Okay, this is not the Queen of Cups, right? Just endless compassionate love, which the Queen of Cups, you know what I mean, is a strong character as well, because it takes a lot of strength to love like that, you know? But the Queen of Swords is more like, I'm willing to hear you out, and I'll think about this logically, and if this doesn't feel right, doesn't smell right, right? This is fishy, get the fuck out. I will fucking cut your head off. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, the Queen of Swords in her own right, in their own right, is the type of person that just sits in that energy, and that is legitimately like a full-blown archetypal manifestation, right? Like, you get what I'm trying to say, is that it's healthy. The Queen of Swords is not inherently somebody who's just cold and detached and a bitch or whatever. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily what the Queen of Swords is all about. Queen of Swords is an archetypal energy that exists solely on its own as a whole. You know what I mean? As like a complete being. It's not a being that needs healing, yada, yada, yada. Okay? So I just wanted to make that very clear here. So you can be the Queen of Swords, okay? Some of you guys might have strong air in your chart, also Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You can be the Queen of Swords, but it doesn't mean that, like, basically the Queen of Swords is somebody who can be overly defensive with this Nine of Wands, but the Nine of Wands is in reverse with the Wheel of Fortune coming in, so it's like, you've figured out, you've cracked the code, my baby. You've cracked the code. You've figured out, okay, if I let my guard down enough to let in the new, let in the unknown, the uncertain, the Wheel of Fortune, right, that is spinning before me, if I can let my guard down to allow in the energy that's coming down the pike, then I will be allowing in the abundance that it is I'm trying to manifest, because I've already placed my order, okay? With, like, you know, the universe. I've placed my order, you know what I mean? I paid for it with blood, sweat, and tears, and now I'm just waiting for it to come through. So I can't be waiting on a package and, you know, lock my gate and no one can come in and bring me my package, because it's like, well, then how are you going to get the package, babe? Like, you have to be willing to unlock your gate. And yeah, that means other people could come in your gate too, but also you have to trust yourself that you are able to slay if anything harmful comes through that gate. You know what I mean? And this is part of the reason why we build support systems also, because our support systems are there to help us when things go astray. You know what I mean? You should always have somebody that you can call for help, you know? And if you don't have somebody like that in your life, which I totally, like, there's so many times in my life, y'all, where, like, I've been completely alone. Like, literally, like, you know, across the country from any friends or family, you know, don't have anybody in my life specifically. Like, sure, I may have acquaintances, but, like, there's nobody who I know would show up for me and kick somebody's fucking ass, right, if I needed protection, or somebody who would show up for me and just be a shoulder to cry on, right? Someone who show up and be like, I brought a bottle of wine and some chocolate, let's fucking hang out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, y'all, there's been so many times in my life where I haven't had anybody, and it can be a really painful realization when you do come around to a point, because, you know, honestly, y'all, people like me and people like y'all, like, because I know whoever's watching this reading who's like in this Queen of Swords energy, it's like y'all already know, like, you're a badass, you can do a lot of things on your own, and you are fiercely independent. And so when you're doing well on your own, you're doing fucking well, and you don't want to let anyone in your world because they're just gonna fuck it up, right? Like, that's how it feels sometimes. Okay, I've built this for myself. If I let anyone in here and trust them, they're just gonna fucking be like a bull in a china shop, and they're gonna destroy my life, right? Because we've had that happen. The Queen of Swords has been through it, right? It's not like this is just a fear that is just manifested from nothing. Like, this is a legitimate fear because it's coming from a place of memory. Like, oh, I remember when somebody did that to me. I remember when someone sabotaged me, went behind my back, tried to destroy my career, tried to destroy my projects, talk shit about me, destroyed my relationships, right? Fucked my boyfriend, whatever it was, right? Like, this shit has happened, okay, to us. So we already know what people are capable of. People are capable of taking our lives, right? People are capable of hurting us and destroying the things that we care about, right? However, okay, here's the caveat. The caveat is people can also really, really change the game for us. People can show up for us and save our lives, okay? People can be there for us when we are at our lowest point and bring us back up from the darkness. Like, people, I'm telling you guys, like, and for those of you this resonates with, some of you guys might have a hard time, you know, with that, because, you know, I feel like everybody wants friends, everybody wants, you know, someone to confide in, everybody wants, you know, a reliable, trustworthy lover, right? Like, we all want connection in our life with this Two of Cups. We all want connection in our life, but it's just a matter of who do we trust, how do we let people in. It's the getting to know you phase that where our anxiety kicks in and all that sort of thing, right? But we know that if we don't let our guard down to at least give people a chance, give the universe a chance to bring the right people into our lives, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. Because guess what? When you get knocked off your horse, okay, and shit goes bad, and you're starting to dive into a deep, dark place, you know, you're gonna look through your contacts list and be like, who could I possibly fucking call right now? You know what I mean? And I've been there so many times, guys, that I'm telling you, building your support systems while you're doing well, while you have faith in, you know, the good things, while you have, you know, emotional energy to build connections with people, while you have the ability to, you know, trust people, because you're doing well enough where you're like, yeah, like, try and come fuck with my shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm pretty firmly planted in the ground right now. So, like, please come try and fuck with me. I will slay your ass, right? So when you're in those types of headspaces, it is a much easier place to let your guard down and to give people a chance and to trust people and to have fun with people and see, like, what your energy's like together and yada yada, right? So I'm just encouraging you guys to build your support systems while you're doing well, so that when you do, you know what I mean, go through hard times, like, you're going to have options, you know what I mean? You're gonna have people who give a shit, who will show up for you. And it's just really hard for, you know, it's just hard for us to only reach out to our friends when we're having a hard time, right? Like, that's not really very fair to your friends either, because they're gonna be like, wow, cool, well, like, while you were, you know, like, you know, on the top of the world, right, you just completely disregarded me as a human being, right? Like, and then now that you're not doing well, now you want my help, right? Like, so I'm just saying, guys, it's good for you to recognize, like, the people in your life that you do really trust and care about and you want to keep in your life, and you continue to build those connections with them. You know what I mean? And then, like, I feel like you guys are just cutting people out left and right with this Queen of Swords energy. And it's not a bad thing, though, because you also need to recognize the people who bring you down, because that is very, very real. Okay, so we want to let our guard down enough to let in the Wheel of Fortune, let in the things that we are trying to manifest, right? We've already placed our order, so we need to keep our gate unlocked so that the, you know, the delivery human can bring in our package, okay? So anyway, the next card that wants to be talked about is the World card. And I really love this card in this deck. This is, I believe this is Russian folklore, this deck. I think it's called the Golden Wheel. Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And so it's all about Russian folklore, which is pretty cool. I really like the, like, all the designs and the outfits and stuff is really cool. But, so the World card is talking about the changing of the seasons, the changing of you, the changing of your seasons, right, within you. And like, do you see how, I'm going to look at this card a little more closely, how all of these people, they're all holding hands gently, right? Gently holding hands around this tree, and you can see the seasons, right, where this is, you know, spring and summer over here, fall in the middle, and winter on the other side. And if you can kind of visualize this energy within yourself, you know what I mean? Where that you're doing well, things are springing abundant, and then you're in this place of contemplation and things are slowing down, and you know, you're starting to shed and old things are dying off, right? Which is kind of where we're headed right now, because it's August now, and so we're heading into the fall, and in the winter is where there's just like the, you know, deep contemplation and kind of receding within oneself, and you know, basically hibernating, slowing down to get through the winter. And so what I'm getting here is that you are in a changing season. Like, your world is changing, your life is changing, there's cycles that are ending and new ones beginning. And, you know, I mean, it's a lot. Like, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you might be feeling like this kind of disconnect. Like, do you see how all these people, they're all looking away from each other, but they're kind of gently holding hands? And so I'm getting that it's like, you may be feeling that way with the people around you also, where that you're kind of like, I feel like we're all kind of supporting each other gently from afar while we all kind of go through our own different season. Like, that's a whole nother message that's coming through, that it's like we're all at a different stage in our journey. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to pause this real quick, and I'll come splice the second half. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm back. So the World card, what we were talking about is that everybody's kind of at a different place in their journey. So while everybody is, you know, I feel like kind of trying to support each other in this kind of somewhat disconnected way, we're all just in different seasons, right? So I think that part of what we might be going through right now is our relationships are changing based on this, the changes that are happening within all of us, right? So we may be going through some changes that, you know, maybe the people around us aren't necessarily going through. And so then there can be some tension within our relationships. We may even end relationships because of this. I feel like there can be, you know, a lot of sadness right now around that I'm getting. But ultimately, I feel like you're kind of getting into this place, this powerful place of this Queen of Swords energy going, well, yes, it is sad. Yes, it upsets me, but I cannot let that keep me down, because I've spent too much time being sad. I've spent too much time wounded, too much time, you know, hurt by the actions of others, or hurt by, you know, relationships falling apart, whatever it is that your past is, right? That you have struggled with, that you have suffered because of, right? That I'm getting that, you know, you're just like, well, it is what it is. I just have to accept it and move on. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Sit here and break my own heart about it over and over again. You know what I mean? We're done doing that, right? So it's time to move forward. We've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. With the Seven of Cups in reverse, I feel like this is talking about a couple different things. First off, I don't want to say like a lack of options, because that's not necessarily the energy I'm getting. I'm getting like a couple different things. It's more like, I feel like you're narrowing down your options. You are not getting caught up in the confusion. That's really what I'm getting. It's the illusion part of the Seven of Cups that is really coming through. It's like the fantasy and the illusion of possibility. It's like you're no longer dwelling in the fantasy of possibility. You're kind of like, yeah, but sure, there's all these supposed options that I'm seeing, but like, how many of them are actually viable? And you're kind of unfortunately realizing like a lot of them aren't viable. Or not only that, but you're just kind of like, I have yet to receive what it is that I have asked for, right? That's what you're realizing. It's like, I have placed my order, so to speak, okay? And I'm still waiting. It's still in transit. So all these options that I'm looking at, they're just, none of them are what I actually want. Like, none of them are what I'm actually waiting for, right? And this is talking about, like, you know, income streams, you know, friends, opportunities, like creative opportunities, love relationships, whatever it is that you're waiting for, that you have yet to receive, kind of thing. It's like you're realizing, like, yeah, all these things in front of me that I'm looking at right as of right now are not are not what I'm looking for, not what I'm actually looking for. It may just be like, I'm just looking to fill the time, or I'm just looking to kind of like play with the fantasy, the idea of, you know, exploring that option or whatever. But like ultimately as the Queen of Swords, you're kind of like, yeah, but like none of that's really like, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. You know what I mean? Basically, or I'm still waiting for the right thing. So I realize I have to leave my gate unlocked to a certain degree. I'm not going to be exploring any options because I already know it's not what I ordered, right? Does that make sense? Here, also, I'm getting, you kind of don't want to go for second best. You know what I mean? You're kind of like, yeah, well, I've suffered way too much. Like, I really do. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, flings are fun, but that's not really what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So, okay, let's pull some more cards. It's a good reading, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it so far. If you are, please do like, share, comment, or subscribe, because that is the currency around here. Chariot card, moving forward, right? That's the currency around here, right? Because this is all free content. We love YouTube for that. You know, but for creators who are not monetized, who are still trying to, oh, I'm sorry. Spirit wanted me to look at that, okay? Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Emperor in reverse, Death card in reverse, okay. Okay, interesting. Ooh, someone may be stubborn, refusing to change. And that could actually be impacting their success, right? So that could be for some of you out there, might be feeling that way. Interesting. The Hanged Man in reverse, or the Hanged Man in the upright, and the Hierophant in reverse. So what I'm actually getting from that is kind of like looking for knowledge in alternative places, like maybe traditional knowledge, like with the Hierophant, is just not cutting it right now. Like you're kind of like, imagine if you are struggling with like depression or anxiety or something, and you're like looking to a traditional psychotherapist for answers, and they're just not giving you any helpful answers. It's just making you feel worse. So you're like, what if maybe I actually need like some spiritual answers, right? So you go into a place of contemplation, or you start to seek out knowledge elsewhere that gives you a different perspective, and that's actually starting to impact you in a more positive way than this traditional kind of stuff where it's like, yes, you suffer from anxiety. It's like, yeah, duh, I fucking know that. Now what do? Oh, take medication. It's like, no, I don't want to take medication. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm getting that that's the feeling. So, what was I trying to say about, okay, someone may be stubborn. What was I getting? I had something else coming through that I wanted to touch on, but maybe it'll come back or something. Guys. Okay, so emotional dissatisfaction, and a lack of reciprocation, or something being out of balance here, right? A lack of generosity, okay? And this, so it's like, how do I put this? It's like when, it's almost like, okay, when you reach a point of frustration, okay, and you're just like, you know what, I'm not satisfied because this is not going the way that I want. Like, it's more like how do I explain this? Anyway, that's changing. I feel like this emotional dissatisfaction with the Four of Cups, it's coming out in the reverse. So, you know, keep that in mind, that this is more about you coming out of a place of emotional dissatisfaction, right? And coming into a place, Ten of Pentacles, a place of security, stability, satisfaction. This is like deep satisfaction. This is long-lasting satisfaction, baby. You know what I mean? This is friends, family, wealth, and the time to enjoy it, all that sort of thing, right? So, okay. Nine of Wands in reverse again. These cards fell off the deck and wanted to see that. So, okay. We have to let our guard down in order to let in what it is that we want, guys. That's really, I feel like, the biggest overarching message here. Yeah, we need to also focus on trying to be happy with what it is we have, even if we're feeling somewhat dissatisfied, because when we show gratitude to the universe, ooh, King of Wands, okay, with the Ten of Pentacles. So some of y'all might be having, like, somebody new is coming in for you, someone who has a lot of passion, you know, and or this could be someone coming towards you with a lot of passion, you know, may or may not be somebody new. I don't know, guys. We'll just, you know, but I'm seeing it as, you know, because, like, okay, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. I'm trying to be objective here, like separate myself from it also. So just please keep that in mind that, you know, if there are things that come up in the reading that I do resonate with and that I share with you, like some of my own stuff I'm going through in order to like, you know, share the message or whatever, like it doesn't mean everything in the reading resonates with me, right? Does that make sense? Because that, I mean, I don't feel like that'd be the best reader ever if I did that. But sometimes readings do resonate with just me. Like, guys, I've recorded a lot of readings over this last month, and a lot of them I've just deleted and not posted because they were just way too personal, and I just didn't feel like it would be helpful to you guys. And even if it was helpful, it was just too personal for me to feel comfortable putting out there because the cards were just like really, really on the money. And, you know, like there's some readings where I just like broke down crying and had to end the reading, and I definitely wasn't going to post that. Like, I have cried in other readings, but it was just because of the channeling of the overwhelm and not having to do with my own personal stuff. So anyway, we'll look into if this is a new person, because what I'm getting here is that it's like I said, you don't want to explore options because you're sick of the fantasy of the possibility of something working out, and you're just, you know, you're just done. Like, that's the energy I'm getting from you, is you're like, if it's not what I want, right? And this is not me trying to be, like, this is, do not feel shitty. Here's the thing, is I do feel like a lot of you guys are carrying guilt right now for deciding that something is not what you want. You know what I mean? Or really wanting something to move forward and be more, and feeling like that is not going to happen. You know what I mean? Or that's not possible, or whatever it is, and that being like really heartbreaking, and you having to walk away from something that you really love because you're like, I cannot continue to bank on possibility. Like, if someone doesn't just verbally, literally say to me straight up, I want you, I want to be with you, I'm willing to work for this, I'm willing to make this work. You know what I mean? If someone doesn't just say those words to you, I love you, I want to be with you, then why would you continue to try and work something out with somebody in this casual, maybe one day kind of way? Because you already know, as a Queen of Swords, you're like, look, I've already played this game, okay? I'm done playing games. I don't want to guess how you feel. I don't want to pour my heart out and you have nothing to say, right? Like, or you not know, like, how you feel in that moment. Like, if you tell someone you love them and they don't say they love you back, just, that's the answer. The answer is that they don't love you, and I'm sorry, and I know that's hard, and, you know, maybe they do and they're just scared to say it. Well, too bad, because not saying it could be interpreted in any of those ways, right? And I'm not going to sit here in the fantasy of possibility, like, maybe they do love me and they're just scared to say it. No, I'm sorry, you're a full-grown adult, and if you don't feel that way, then you don't feel that way. And so I'm not going to sit here and be in this place of fantasy possibility, maybe one day this will be a real thing, because I'm sorry, but this is not, no, we're not doing that. Ten of Pentacles. How am I ever going to get to this Ten of Pentacles if I waste my time sitting around in this possibility energy without someone just being straight up with me about what it is they want with me, what they're actually, you know, what are you excited about with me, right? You excited about, like, having sex and, like, having a good time? Like, you know what I mean? Do you actually see longevity here? And so I'm just saying, if someone isn't saying those things and you are, you know, what are you gonna do? We're gonna open our gate, okay, so that we can be delivered what it is that we ordered. Like, I'm sorry, bitch. But, yeah, so 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is so funny. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, this is about, like, the slow build, okay, is just not working for us right now. Like, I'm getting that, the slow, okay, somebody was moving too slow, period. That's just what I'm going to say. Someone was moving too slow to actually build a Ten of Pentacles with you. So, sorry. Chariot card, moving forward towards my Ten of Pentacles, because, you know, I'm sorry, but, like, I have waited a long time, you know, so it's not easy to just open your heart, you know, it's not easy to walk away, but it's definitely not easy to start something and then just continue to sit in uncertainty, right? If someone's not giving you the security and the, you know, making you feel safe in a connection by telling you, you know, the things that you need to hear in order to feel safe and secure in a connection and moving forward in the direction that it is you're trying to go, right? It's like if you have just waited, this King of Wands is like hiding out behind the Ten of Pentacles. There's somebody out there, basically, guys, there's somebody out there who is going to get where you're coming from, who already knows what they want with you, or is going to know very quickly, is willing to move forward, is not afraid, has the time and energy, etc. Right? So you're moving forward. You're moving forward towards what it is that you want, and you're not moving forward at a snail's pace, okay? You're done waiting, right? And impatience can be a problem here, guys. I just want to put that out there, that being impatient for what it is that you want, that you've been waiting for, like, be cautious of that, because you might jump into things that aren't necessarily great for you. But because of this discernment, like this really intense discernment, you're not entertaining any options that you don't already feel like are reaching that potential. Does that make sense? So you're moving forward at a very rapid rate, is what I'm getting. Tower card in reverse. Ten of Wands in reverse. Yes, bitch. Okay. We are releasing this burden. Okay. We're releasing the guilt. We're releasing the pain. We're releasing the disappointment. We are moving forward. We're moving on. Six of Cups in reverse. We're moving on from the past. No more nostalgia. No more fantasy. No more what if. No more possibilities. Just fucking done with the past. Because what else are you going to do? I mean, what else are you going to do besides sit in fantasy? Because if somebody is not coming forward to make their, you know, the possibilities that you guys have been fantasizing about, if they're not coming forward to make it a reality, then it's just a fantasy. And so whatever it is that you're thinking about, thinking and contemplating, oh, like, well, what if, you know, they come around and they realize that, like, they really do love me and they do want to do this, right? And, like, that's still a what if fantasy, guys. It does not matter. Like, if that's what you want, if you want another person to feel a certain way and come towards you, it's like there's literally no point in fantasizing about that, guys, because there's literally no fucking, you have no control over other people. You have no way of knowing how they feel. You should not try and manifest people back into your life because you want them to validate you somehow. I'm just telling you guys, give up the fantasy, move forward. If they want you, then the ball is in their court. You know what I mean? If they want to come forward and you know what I mean, do all that sort of thing, that's on them, you know? If they feel that way, if they even want that, right? You don't know. You're just contemplating possibilities at this point. So what I'm saying is, let it go, guys. You may have had to make a really tough decision, the Devil. And you don't want to continue to be held back by your past pain. You don't want to be held back by, you know, yeah, wow. Five of Pentacles and the Devil, okay? Because this abandonment, right? Because the Five of Pentacles represents being a derelict, basically, is the best way to describe it. You know, it's like being poor, homeless, broke, you know, out in the wintertime. And, you know, it's like you're one of the forgotten people. Or whatever, Five of Pentacles, you know? You're abandoned by the world. Left out in the cold to die. Super fucking dark and hardcore, but, like, I'm being serious. That's what it is. Okay? And the Devil. So what I'm getting here is that the pain from the past of being abandoned could very well easily be holding you down, holding you back. Okay? So let me be, like, really, really frank with you guys. This ball is in your court, okay? This is all you. Like, separate the other person, like, anything that you may be feeling right now that's involving anybody else. And just look at this as a singular thing. This is just about you, okay? This is just about you right now. Your past wounding, you having been abandoned in the past. For those of you, excuse me, that this resonates with, abandonment can be a very, very, very painful thing. And it can wound us on a deep level. Some of us never heal from. Okay? And I'm literally about to cry right now. So listen. Do not let this hold you back. Do not let what other people did keep you down anymore. Fuck them. Fuck those people. Seriously. It has its hold on you. This pain, this abandonment, for a lot of you guys, this could be childhood wounding. I'm really getting that strongly with this Five of Pentacles. This could talk about abandonment issues. And abandonment issues, guys, is abandonment wounding, okay? Because we're not supposed to be abandoned as children. We're not supposed to be abandoned as children. It causes wounding. And it creates a lifelong complex that is incredibly difficult to heal from. So, this is not your fault. This is something that happened to you, okay? Now, if you're experiencing issues because of this, that's to be expected. So no, this is not an issue that you have, that there's something wrong with you because you were abandoned. Like, no, we're not supposed to be abandoned, okay? It causes wounding. It causes imbalance. We are supposed to be cared for through our childhood and adolescence, right? And that creates a security within us that you cannot mimic. You cannot mimic that kind of emotional security that is created when you have a healthy childhood. Okay? Being abandoned creates wounding. That it just is what it is. And if you don't, I feel like if you, if people, like, okay, if this resonates with you guys and, like, you experienced this as a child, you experienced this growing up, you've experienced this many times with other, other people in relationships, friendships, whatever, okay? If you feel that you've been abandoned, and you have abandonment wounding, okay, we're not going to call it abandonment issues anymore. I'm sick of that shit. Just like daddy issues. This is wounding. Period. Now, if you've been connecting with people who are not trauma informed, people who are not informed about abandonment wounding, they're not informed about what this does to a person and how much strength it takes to be vulnerable when you have this type of wounding, then you can just be re-traumatized and re-wounded, right? Because people don't understand, and then they in turn abandon you as well. So then you just have a series of abandonment experiences. Like opening up to someone and saying, hey, I have abandonment issues because, my dad left when I was really young and was in and out of my life, and I didn't know if he was alive or dead, and you know what I mean? Like, it really, really hurt me. It fucked me up. And it wasn't just my dad ran off. It was like, no, my parents fought, like, nonstop. You know what I mean? My parents viciously fought each other anytime my dad was around. And the good times were just fleeting, We had some good times, but it wasn't all peaches and cream, right? So what I'm getting at, guys, is that you may open up and tell somebody this, and then they're kind of like, oh, well, that's like more than I can handle, or that's kind of intense for me, so like I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? So then you just become re-abandoned. Oh, I shouldn't have told them that I have abandonment issues because that was stupid, and so I'm stupid, and I'm wounded, and no one's going to love me, right? And that's how the cycle goes. That's how it goes. Do you see how it has a hold on you? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Not everyone is going to understand your wounding. And not everyone is going to fucking care about your wounding. Not everybody is going to show up and love you even in your woundedness, But somebody will. But not everybody will. So you cannot just open your heart and share your wounding with everybody, okay? And you may feel compelled to do so because you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm being honest and being vulnerable. Isn't that what is necessary to have relationships? Isn't that what is necessary in order to connect with somebody and really, access my healing, right? Like, aren't we supposed to be helping each other, yada, yada? Yes, in an ideal world, my darling, yes, you are absolutely right, and you're incredibly brave and badass for opening up and for being vulnerable. Yes. And you're beautiful for opening up and being vulnerable. You have a beautiful spirit, okay? Yes. But not everybody is equipped. Not everybody is willing. And not everybody is capable. So you can save yourself a lot of pain and a lot of sorrow and hurt and abandonment re-traumatization by not, I'm not saying don't share it with the people that you want to share it with, okay? But I'm kind of trying to tell you, like, yeah, be cautious and be choosy about who you share this wounding with, because not everybody is going to treat you with care and kindness. And if I can save any of you out there, especially if I have a younger audience right now, anybody listening to this who is struggling with this, and maybe you've already experienced a couple of re-abandonment traumas where that, you know, you tried to tell people what was going on with you and they just weren't there for you and they abandoned you and it hurt even more. I'm telling you that if I'm talking to a younger audience, anybody who has not just like continuously destroyed their spirit by sharing their wounding with people who don't give a fuck, like, then please save yourself the trauma, save yourself the pain, and you know what I mean? Like, take care of yourself, you know, by only sharing this with people who are equipped, right? Like a therapist, you know, people in your life who love you no matter what, okay? Right? Your friends, your family, etc. Okay? But sharing it with a new romantic interest because, like, maybe you got triggered during, like, a sexual experience and you tried to share with them what was going on with you and they thought it was weird, like, oh, you have daddy issues, whatever. Literally, honey, I cannot tell you how many times I've been through that. I cannot tell you how many times I have been re-traumatized, you know, and I want to save you guys that same pain, you know? I know this is going to be a long reading, but I'm just trying to say that this wounding, this abandonment, it has its hold on you, and it can cause you to do all sorts of things in your life, like it could actually cause you to turn towards, you know, drugs and alcohol. It can cause you to turn towards other coping mechanisms like overeating or, you know what I mean, overindulging, being sexually promiscuous is another one, right? Which, you know, no slut shaming, y'all. Like, this is just about when you're being self-destructive, okay? That's what it is. This abandonment wounding causes you to be self-destructive. Okay, and it has its hold on you. So what I'm telling you guys is that this needs to be numero uno, okay? This needs to be manifestation number 1. We are going to manifest healing from this shit, right? We're going to focus our energy on healing from this shit because it impacts our entire fucking life. It is at the core of who we are. You know what I mean? This is, imagine, this is the core of who you are is wounded. Everything else that's connected to it, you're going to be making decisions out of this place of woundedness. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, the shit that I've been through, I know that almost all of it, I'm being dead serious. Almost every bad decision that I've ever made has come from a place of woundedness. Now, I'm not saying that to try to, you know, shirk responsibility. I am responsible for my actions, especially any actions that harmed other people, you know? And I still take actions that harm other people because I am fucked up. Okay? And I'm not like, oh God, guys, I'm not trying to give myself a hard time here. I'm just trying to say that I'm wounded. I am taking responsibility for that wounding. And I am guilty. Like I feel guilt and sorrow for any decisions that I've made that have hurt other people. You know what I mean? And I try my fucking damnedest not to. You know, so when I make a decision out of woundedness, it's like we have to move on from the past. But like, and it hurts another person, that just does not, it does not help your healing. It does not help your healing. It does not help anybody else. You have to take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for this and say, look, okay, somebody at some point in time, you know, i.e. my parents, right, to begin with, in the very beginning of it, right, really abandoned me emotionally, right, and physically, but like I have to realize that that wounding is now my responsibility as an adult. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean I have to do it alone, but I have to take care of this wounding with people if I need assistance, which I do. We all do, usually with this sort of thing, especially if it's a series of trauma where it's not just like, oh, my dad ran off and then, you know, my whole life has been shit ever since. It's like, no, I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me. And a lot of it was because I was seeking out love and validation from the wrong people, you know, and yeah, they decided to hurt me instead, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is that you need to seek out your healing with people who are equipped to help you with your healing, right? And that can be all kinds of different things. Like I was saying, with the Hierophant in reverse, maybe traditional advice is not helpful for you right now. Maybe you need some alternative medicine, right? Like maybe you need to do acupuncture or acupressure, or you need to do, instead of talk therapy, maybe you need to do somatic therapy, right? And somatic means like, you know, your senses, right? So maybe you need, you need touch, right? Like you need some type of alternative therapy to move the energy through your body. Talk therapy and medication is not going to help you, right? Woo! So anyway, we're letting go of the past. We're moving forward. We're moving forward into something new because we don't want to get stuck in old cycles with the World card in reverse. We're not trying to get stuck anymore, guys. We've got a lot of shit to do. We've got a purpose here. High Priestess and the Fool card. Our intuition is telling us the truth. Our intuition is telling us that we need to heal, we need to move forward, we need to let go of the past. You know what I mean? We need to be also willing to take risks, willing to be vulnerable, willing to open up, using our discernment and our intuition, guys. And I know a lot of times our intuition can get mixed up with our paranoia and our fear and yada yada. Experiment until you understand your intuition. I'm not saying don't push your intuition. If your intuition is telling you not to do something, you know, and it could be coming from a place of fear, but if you don't have a whole lot to lose, then don't do that thing. It's not worth it, okay? But if you have intuition to do something, because you have a feeling that something might happen if you do, and then you go do that thing and nothing happens, then you can be like, oh, okay, I don't think that was my intuition necessarily. I think that was my fantasy, right? Like that was my, like I conjured that up, like I just made that up in my mind. It was like, oh, if I go to Ingles, maybe, you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying, guys? Like if I go do this thing, maybe I'll meet somebody, you know, and then nothing happens and you go, oh, well, that was just my wishful thinking. So then you start to recognize the difference between those energies, okay? Now imagine that you have plans to do something. You're afraid to do it. You just have some kind of fear within you to not do it. You're like, my intuition's telling me not to do it. But then you go, look, no, I made a commitment, okay? I made a commitment. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it. You show up. You do the thing. Nothing bad happens. Everything's gravy. You go home. Everything's fine. Huh. Well, maybe that was just my fear, right? So experiment with it. Okay? Now, I'm saying, I'm not saying to take big risks. If something is telling you not to do something and you're like genuinely like, this is risky and I feel like I shouldn't do it because the possibilities of things going badly is actually real. Like there's a real possibility of things going badly and my intuition's telling me not to do it, then don't fucking do it, guys. You know what I mean? The Lovers. Our entire life is a decision. King of Pentacles in reverse. Our entire life is just a series of decisions, guys. Because the Lovers card used to be called the Choice, for those of you who aren't super familiar with tarot. But it's also about, you know, so a lot of times it means making a choice in like lovers, but I'm getting that our entire life is a series of choices, right? And it does determine our life, but some choices are just more significant than others. All right. Some of you guys may not be feeling very in your power right now. So decisions can be very, very difficult, where you can feel like you're catastrophizing is the word. You're catastrophizing your thought process where you go, oh God, well, if I don't go on this date, then, you know, I'm going to be alone forever. That's just an example, guys, you know, or if I, you know, don't do this, then I'm going to be miserable, you know, like, do you guys know what I'm saying? So I'm saying you may be catastrophizing your decisions because you're not feeling very in your power right now. So just relax. Realize that not every decision is life or death. Everything's going to be fine. Sometimes we make decisions and we go, I didn't really have a lot of fun. You know, I went and did this thing and it really wasn't that fun. And my intuition was kind of telling me, like, you know, this isn't going to be that fun. But I did it anyway. And now I got confirmation. Oh, okay. That's what my intuition feels like. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm getting a message. Okay. Put my phone on silent. But so you know what I'm saying, guys, that there's like there's a lot of decisions. Okay, Spirit, we're gonna go ahead and move on so that we can wrap up this reading. Are there any other cards that want to come out? Jesus, a lot. Yeah, I mean sometimes, guys, also when I don't do readings for a while, it's like the readings end up being really long. 10 of Cups in reverse. 3 of Wands in reverse. Why is the 10 of Cups coming out in reverse, Spirit? Wow, okay, I'm getting that for some of you guys. Like, you may not be feeling very in your power right now. 9 of Cups. Awesome. Focus on the things that make you happy. First off, drop the card. Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, this is what I'm kind of getting, is that you may have a lack of clarity right now around certain things. You have a lack of clarity about your future, about your life, you know, and a lack of clarity about why your life has been like this, yada, yada, right? Like, I totally get it. But what I'm saying is that you may not be feeling very in your power right now. What was I just trying to say with this 10 of Cups in reverse? Focus on the things that make you happy, and that's going to lead you in a good direction, first off. Second off, with the 10 of Cups in reverse, it's like this could be a big reason why you are experiencing so much pain and discomfort and imbalance and etc. Because this could be talking about, like I said, your childhood, okay? Right? Like you didn't have this 10 of Cups energy growing up, right? So it's all you've ever wanted. It's all you've ever wanted. So you're trying to create that for yourself out of a place of woundedness, and so it's not manifesting because it's like when you try and manifest out of a place of woundedness because you think that when you manifest this thing it's going to cure your wounds, that's not necessarily how this works. Unfortunately, it's like you have to heal and go without, and then once you're in a place of, you know, where you're more healed, then you're more able to receive, right? Something about that just makes me really fucking sad because it's like, you know, you're kind of like, yeah, well, like, I would probably be fine in general as a human being if it wasn't for this experience that I had, you know, and so now it's like, I just, fuck, it's hard. It's hard when you want something, that you are practically incapable of manifesting. Does that make sense? Because the only way you can really have that kind of thing, the 10 of Cups, right? This is like, you know, a family, a home, you know what I mean? Plenty of everything, right? Emotional satisfaction and happiness. The only way you can really have those things is if you're able to form healthy long-term relationships. If you're not able to do that because of the anxiety, depression, fear, abandonment issues, then you can't have what it is that you want, the thing that you were deprived of, you know, that caused the wounding in the first place. So this can be a very painful cycle that you can end up in, and you basically become hopeless. You lose traction, you lose faith, and you start to realize, like, you know, if I can't heal, right, from this wounding, if I can't achieve this desire, this dream, right, then that means I'm just going to be miserable all my life, right? And that's when you start to feel suicidal. And I'm sorry if that's triggering for anybody, but y'all out there, I just want to say, like, you can heal from this wounding. You can. It's entirely possible. You know, you can have everything that you desire because you have to understand also, like, this sounds really cheesy, guys, but you're a child of the universe. Like, the universe has never abandoned you. We'll always be there for you. This is how people survive, like, serious trauma. This is why people are religious. Because the belief in something outside of yourself, outside of other people, this never-ending stream of love and care that exists for all of us, within us and without us, right, will always be there for us. It will never abandon us, has never abandoned us. All we need to do is tap into it. So that is what makes all of this doable, right? Survivable. You know, that we will get through it, we will heal, and we will learn, and it is a part of our purpose, believe it or not. You know, sometimes shitty things just happen, guys. I'm not going to say there is a reason for it, but I'm just going to say that, like, it will play into your life, because it literally just is part of your life. It will play into your purpose because it is literally a part of your purpose. Does that make sense? There's no way to separate the experiences that you have in life and your path and your purpose and where you ultimately are leading, right? And these are all like series of decisions. So you can decide whether or not you have faith in yourself and your healing. You can decide whether or not you know what I mean, trust somebody or don't trust them, right? You get to decide what you do in this life. So moving forward, you have all the power. Queen of Swords. You have all the fucking power. You have the power to say yes, no, maybe so, I don't know, right? You have the power to open your gates in order to let in this abundance that you're trying to manifest. You have the power to heal from your past wounding in order to move forward and achieve what it is that you desire. And it's not to make up for the past. It's to experience in the present. Fuck the past. Fuck the past. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. Absolutely. This guilt and shame, feeling, you know, sorry and bad for how it is that you feel, for what it is that you've been through, for your woundedness, whatever. It's like you need to do what's right for you. So you may feel guilty, you may feel bad, you may have hurt some people along the way, you know, by walking away from things because you literally couldn't handle it, and they weren't going to be there to help you handle it. So you realize that this is just not healthy for me, because I need to be in a safe connection where that somebody understands my trauma and can be there for me around it, and understands how hard it is for me to be in connection with others, because it's scary, you know, and I don't feel safe unless somebody makes damn sure that I feel safe, you know, makes it a priority, right? So, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. I love you guys so much, seriously. That's literally the whole point of this message, and I feel like it's been really long-winded. Wow. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. Bro, literally, guys, like, this is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is literally the whole fucking point of this reading, is that you need to be able to let go of the past and let go with vigor. Like, don't just be like, I guess I'm gonna let go of the past now, you know? I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm your guys' friend or whatever. But, like, so I'm serious. Like, be like, fuck the past. Be a Queen of Swords about that bitch. Be like, no, I'm letting go of resentment because I'm tired of my past wounding getting in my way and making me emotional, and it distorts my perception, and then I get scared, and then I abandon people, and then I run away, and then I do self-destructive behavior. Whatever it is, guys, like, you already know your cycles. Wow. Wow. Eight of Wands in reverse. I don't know why that's coming out. Really, Spirit? Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. This is the mini tarot. This is actually a deck that I thought that I lost. And it ended up being just tucked away somewhere because I had moved so many times last year that this little tiny deck got misplaced. But it's wanting to speak right now, so this is going to be a long-ass reading. This is going to be like a 2-hour-long reading, guys. Like, I might have to make a part 1 and part 2. Knight of Cups coming out in the reverse. Don't wait on people. Don't bank on other people. Don't bank on people coming back around. Queen of Cups in reverse. You may have to be the Devil. Okay, what else? Knight of Swords. Okay. Five of Cups. Okay, so yes, this is what I'm getting here, is that the pain and regret of the past, the sorrow, yada, 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 that shit is got a hold on you, is holding you back. Basically, there's no need to come rushing in and telling someone, I understand now, it's because of my past wounding. Like, you know what I mean? You've poured out your heart enough. You don't need to do that. Do not, like, come in with these apologies and, like, romantic gestures to try and make things right with somebody, because that's literally just furthering your attachments, right, basically. So you need to be able to let go of the past, and you can't let things have a hold on you, and you cannot be Two of Swords, Death. Okay, yes. So things are changing in a big way for you right now, and I'm getting, like, you might not see the way forward with this Two of Swords, and also the whole, like, emotions cloud your vision and all that sort of thing. It's like, by the way, also, guys, some of us can make, like, this is hard. This is really going to be a long reading. I'm sorry, guys. But basically what I'm getting here is that, just to wrap it up, is that emotions can cloud our vision, and we can make bad decisions in relationships or in connections because of the past and the pain and us being attached to this, like, you know, really unhealthy way of thinking, where we may be thinking like, oh, you know what I mean, this person is just going to abandon me, this person's just going to hurt me, I'm not special to this person, I'm never going to be, you know what I mean, something or somebody significant to this person, like, this is just for fun, and, like, I'm really stupid for, like, fantasizing about, like, the possibility of this being, like, a real relationship, because, like, oh, when did that ever happen? You know what I mean? Like, you guys get what I'm saying, is like this past pain, past wounding can cause you to think all these sorts of ways that might not even actually be true. And this, you know, this devil energy can like really, really drag you down into the depths is what I'm getting here. So I'm going to reread this card. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, okay? Yes, these feelings are normal, natural, and necessary, right? But they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. The only way for you to move forward and be in the kind of connection that you want to be in is to let go of the past. The only way for you to be successful and allow the abundance into your life, babies, is to heal, okay? To heal. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only being true to yourself that you can be true to others, okay? So you need to also be making sure that you are not, keeping obligations, keeping connections, keeping things in your life that you're doing just based on guilt because you don't want to hurt another person's feelings. You have to do what's best for you. Instead, numero uno, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires, okay? This is already on the way, babes. You already placed your order. It is coming to you whether you like it or not, okay? So the only difference is give thanks and open your gates, right? And have faith in it. All right, I'm going to end it there. Super long reading, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Seriously, so many blessings to y'all. I'm going to spray some protection energy here, and I really, really wish you guys well in your journey of healing, and I hope that you get to the place that it is you deserve to be, right? Happy, fulfilled, safe, successful, right? So, love you guys. Bye.